traversing the strange world with peace and Toodles.
Well, look who it is, Toodles. Look who came crawling back.
Well.
It's our fellow strangers coming back to inquire about some strange stories.
Some more deep truths and hidden knowledge.
So today, our episode, we're going to be covering a very old book. Not as old as some of the books that we've covered, but I believe, early 1900s?
I thought it was like middle 1800s, but who's counting?
George Orwell's Animal Farm.
Animal Farm. That actually probably was early 1900s. I was still in the headspace of Jules Verne from from last time.
Yeah, the last
time we were
classic
together.
Story we covered.
Just the two of us. We did Journey to the Center of the Earth, no?
No, we did Strange Creatures of the Biblical Story.
Oh, Strange Creatures. I even consulted my dad before that one.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, it was Dario's birthday.
Happy birthday to
Dario.
you.
13 years old.
And many more. A teenager, dude.
It's like
a teenager, bro.
We need to come up with a coming to age tradition, something that cultures have gotten disconnected from,
Hashtag bring back hazing. Yeah.
To have the bat mitzvah, the bar mitzvah, the coming to age, you're coming into adulthood. Maybe not.
It'll put some real hair on your chest, boy.
What might that be?
Still thinking about it. Maybe have him rob a bank or something. I don't know. Something that benefits the family. Because I'm family-oriented.
Maybe you guys could go repair something for an old widow who doesn't have a lot. You are both teaching him compassion as well as masculine skills.
Karmic energy.
And
will be strong with this one.
Yes. Well, hey, since we're sitting here pondering and whatnot, why don't we get that jingle rolling?
That first segment.
Here it comes, y'all.
This is the updates, reflections, and ponderings of Peace and Toodles.
Be able to do it on the fly.
So, Toodles, what have you been pondering lately? Got any updates for these kind strangers that we are here to entertain?
Husklage season is finally over in the trucks. No more hauling corn. Illegally, because everyone's overweight. But we don't talk about that part.
What?
Oh, they just have you haul unhealthy high levels of weight of corn all over the place. All these little Amish farms. So their little cows can eat it all up.
Were you saying it's going to people or something? It's going to animals.
Yeah, it's going to people's farms to feed the animals that they abuse, which will be a subject of today's story.
Yes.
You like how I just tied that in? See, people, it'll all make sense if you haven't figured out what we're talking about yet by the title.
Yes. Did we say what it was? Yeah, Animal Farm.
Well, it's going to say it in the title when it gets released.
Did we not say what the story we were going to be covering was?
We have nothing to build to. You gave away the climax.
No. There's still climaxes yet to come in this episode.
Good. What have you been pondering?
Well, first an update, which will probably be the last of these types of updates, unless I do something stupid. So I went to the doctor earlier this week, and this is like my 12-week checkup after surgery. And she checked my tendon, checked my mobility, my grip, everything, and was very impressed by, she said it's very rare for this level of recovery. And she said, why don't you you can start lifting upper body again. Why don't you do like 3.5 pounds by like 15 reps? And I said, ma'am, for the past 2 weeks, I've been doing 5 pounds about 25 times. She was like, oh, well, if that's the case, why don't we just go no restrictions from here on out and just be cautious, You seem to know what you're doing. I was shocked that a doctor told me that. I was like, what?
Wow.
And yeah, she was like, just, don't go too heavy. Don't do anything that causes pain. And I said, so like 10 pounds? And she was like, I'd go heavier. And I was like, am I being punked?
Well, I don't know if I even would, just to be cautious. On the safe side.
So earlier this week, I benched 155 pounds for like 25 to 30 reps.
Bicep in that, though.
Yeah, but it didn't hurt. And then I was curling. The thing that hurts a little bit is curling, but I've been doing, as far as accessories go, maybe 20 pounds lighter than what I would typically do. So it feels pretty good.
Do all the different angles of curls hurt? Like
No.
straight or
No.
concentration
No,
curls?
mostly just straight.
Hammer curls?
I was doing like wide grip curls, hammer curls, crossbody hammer curls.
All of them hurt?
Preacher curls, no.
Which one?
Barely any of them. Feels good. She said it's really hard for anything to get torn because it's actually cemented in there now. And so I'd have to be doing something pretty strenuous to get it to tear.
Well, you know what they say. It's easier to recover lost gains than it is to build them in the first place. So you can at least get real close to where you were, pretty fast.
Oh, yeah, and that's extremely exciting. Like, I get up now to go to the gym, and I'm, like, amped. I'm always been,
Dude, because there's a lot of results that you're going to be able to see really fast, and that's exciting.
Yes, and I think not doing upper body for almost 2 months, I didn't realize I did, but it's just like, I feel like I'm a full man again. Like, I feel like I could defend myself fully if, like, somebody tried to attack me or something. I feel like I could pick up something to help somebody with, I feel like fully functional. And I feel like it's just added a whole new outlook on life. Like, I'm just more amped up, more like, let's go.
The restrictions are off.
Yep. But I am going to use all the lessons from this injury, and certainly I'm not going to dive headlong back into things as I was, I think that there's lessons that can be gleaned of work-life balance, delegation, rest. Like, in the last few weeks, I've gotten some pretty thorough sleepy times at nighttime, like 7-8 hours, which for most of the summer was pretty rare. It was like 6 hours on a really good night. And scientifically, my understanding is, like, if you don't get proper sleep, it, like, really tanks your testosterone, which pretty much makes, like, any efforts you put in at the gym not as effective.
That's interesting. So I can definitely feel a big difference between the, if you get 8 hours of sleep, every night, and then you get like one night that's only 4, you barely feel it. But if you consistently get like 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 5, 5, 5, and then you have a night where you have like 4, then it's like, it sucks. It's awful.
Yeah, you get kind of used to it.
You get used to it, and you don't realize this like default, just more tired state that you're in.
Well, now it's the case to where if I didn't get enough sleep, I'll maybe sliver off a little bit of time off the gym to get more sleep. Because if I'm not giving myself proper rest and proper nutrition, it's going to make all that intense effort ineffective.
Indubitably. That is quite the ponderings.
Thank you.
From the same author that brought to us 1984, straight out of an old school dystopian future sci-fi flick, we have
George Orwell's
Animal Farm.
Animal Farm. So I saw the 1999 film for this. It's a live action film. It has humans, and the animals are partially real animals, and then a lot of animatronic type puppetry.
Oh, yes.
The kind that would give a kid that's like 46 years old nightmares, you know.
Sounds appropriate for 99.
A pretty thorough fear of pigs. I was afraid of pigs as a child, and I think this movie might have something to do with it. Or the movie based off from this book, I should say.
I remember in my head some scary pig faces in a movie once. I forget what movie it was. I wonder if it might have been this.
I don't know. Maybe.
We'll have to
Possibly.
watch it and see.
Probably not. So, Animal Farm. It's an allegory.
Animal Farm. Is it an allegory?
Yes.
Or is it just a simple fictional tale?
It is not.
Of farms.
It is not.
And animals that live on the farms.
It is. So that's what I
Innocent.
thought that when I first saw this as a kid. Because
Innocent.
again, I saw the movie. That was an adaptation to the book. I thought, this is a really odd story about these animals. Like, you know, you see movies like Barnyard, different movies where, you know, the animals can talk and they're all getting along. They have a secret life that the farmers don't know about. But in this story, the animals...
There is a grand rebellion.
Yes.
An uprising.
An uprising. Well, it's an allegory...
A revolt.
For the communist revolution.
An overthrow.
In Russia. Communist Russia.
It was an inside job. And we know a thing or two about inside jobs around here.
Mm-hmm. It's a good show that you can stream on Netflix. Especially if you're a conspiracy theory / Reddit nerd, you'll like this show. So yes, our story takes place on a farm in England called Manor Farm.
Owned by the local friendly, neighborly...
alcoholic...
Farmer Jones.
Who just recently lost a few lawsuits against other farmers. So his pocketbook isn't doing too good at the moment.
He's a little stressed out. Little apt to act in favor of only himself.
He's grown a little negligent of his animals.
They're getting a little worried. Not knowing what's going on here.
A farm that contains many animals. It's a big farm, big industrious farm. But
we'll see later. This isn't to give a spoiler, but it's a very diverse farm. We got some cowsies and some horsies, some sheep, some pigs. That sounds like a dying pig. Yeah, and there's some chickens, and then there's this one poor little donkey. Hey, what was the donkey's name?
Benjamin. Old Benjamin.
And then, yeah, there's a lot of sad fates in this story. But anyway, all that to say, we got a lot of different kinds of animals.
Yes, and our story begins with the prized boar, Old Major, who he's kind of the head honcho of this operation. All the animals respect him. He's lived a long life, sired many piglets. He has escaped his fate because many pigs on a farm, they'll get butchered and killed, but he's a prize stud boar. So his job is to be a stud and keep cranking out more little piglets for Mr. Jones to sell at the market.
And pigs are wise. This wise old pig is self-aware enough to realize that he's in a lucky position. Because he even says himself, straight from the pig's mouth, he says, I'm fortunate to have seen so many animals here on this farm for so long, because many of my own kind, they make it
Their
or
next
2
will
years.
meet the block before the end of this season.
Yes, their necks will meet the block. That's the proper sound.
So he tells them of this dream that he had.
This grand dream of what you might want to call freedom.
Yes, where there's no farmers. All animals are free.
Free to graze, free to work, free to sleep, eat, wander.
And he
as
says
they please.
that, by the way, this pig, Old Major, he is a representation, a parody of Karl Marx.
That's getting ahead of ourselves.
Is it?
Are we going to do the analogy as we go? Or
Why not?
Okay.
Why not? So he's the archetypal, bringer of the dream, the birth giver of the dream. He doesn't do much, but he tells the animals. He implants the idea of the rebellion. He says that
The seeds of revolution are sown in taverns.
He says, we could overthrow against the farmers, and we could provide completely for ourselves.
And like any true hero of a story, there is an anthem. He has a theme song.
Yes, he teaches the animals this song called...
Excuse me. Beasts
of
England.
Yes.
The birds carry the tune from farm to farm.
Yes.
Eventually this pig hears enough of the little verses from the little birdies that he learns it himself.
Yes.
And this perhaps even inspired his dream.
Mm-hmm.
Learning of this thing called freedom and what it entails and what it would look like. So once he heard it enough that his smart pig mind, which it is implied that the pigs are the intelligent ones throughout the course of this book.
Yes.
This pig memorizes the song and starts spreading it to his local farm.
Prior to the rebellion, there's old books that Farmer Jones had thrown away that the pigs had read and taught themselves to read. So, Old Major has this meeting. He teaches the animals the songs Beast of England. Do you remember the words of the Beast of England?
I don't, nor have I written them down.
Because I don't.
We are at a loss.
But it basically goes like, Beasts of England, come together, unite. The humans won't torture us anymore if we rebel against them and crush them and
kill them.
We will rule supremely. Beasts of England, unite. And it's after this meeting, the animals, throughout the farm, they're chanting it, singing it amongst themselves. Kind of the farmer, he just hears, bah, 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 bah.
Oh, no. These farmers hear the words of the animals in this story.
True, yeah, they do speak. They can talk.
Mm-hmm.
Which, is this a new thing, or have they always been able to talk?
Ooh, maybe this is truly a nonfiction. Maybe they knew some. Hey, this makes sense out of Balaam's donkey. Know what I'm saying? Maybe he was like the last one or the speaking kind. Maybe he was the first.
No, I have a better theory. Remember the Strange Bible Stories episode with Jonah and the repentant animals of Nineveh that escaped from the Garden of Eden?
The animals that wore sackcloth.
Yes, that you theorized went to the Garden of Eden and produced a generation of self-reflective, intelligent cattle. Maybe these are the descendants of those.
That's an inspiring thought. I think I believe it.
Well, you put it in my brain.
There we go, folks.
Congratulations.
A Peace and Toodles original.
You're like Old Major.
Conspiracy theory.
Inspiring the rebellion. So
he inspired the rebellion until two other of these intelligent pigs took up this idea.
Snowball and Napoleon.
Poor old Snowball, man.
Hey! Now you're getting ahead of the grain.
I'm sad of Snowball's fate.
Me too. He's one of my favorite characters.
He was so smart and nice.
Yes.
So, Farmer Jones pushed the animals too far. One too many times.
So, after he has this meeting and he teaches the animals the songs.
Major.
Yeah, old Major. Teaches the animals the Beast of England song. A few weeks later, he dies peacefully in his sleep. And the time comes where Mr. Jones...
Mr. Jones pushes the animals to what they think is starvation.
Yeah.
One too many times.
And one day they're hungry, and he hops in his van and goes to town and drinks with all the different farm hands. They come back drunk, too drunk to feed the animals. So, one of the animals, a big workhorse named Boxer.
I like Boxer too.
Yeah, he represents the working class in society.
He's kind of dumb.
Well, we both come from the working class, so when Jonathan says that, we're not like saying that in a backhanded way. It's how George Orwell saw us.
Which is, dude, this horse is as dumb as a box of rocks.
George Orwell actually had very good opinions about the working class of people. He said that that's where true intellectualism resided, actually, amongst the working class, the common folk.
I think the working class, middle class, common folk is where the most potential goes to the grave.
I agree with that. Ideas, the seeds of idea are sown, but rain never comes, perhaps.
So the animals lead this uprising, this revolution, this coup.
Yes, they kick out the workhorse. Boxer kicks open the gate of the pen that they're in. They go to the feed barn. Everybody's yum.
They ravage it. Eating to their heart's delight, filling their gluttonous bellies.
There's little mice making snow angels in the piles of poured grain on the ground. They're having a celebration, and then Mr.
It
Jones
doesn't end at the barn.
What happens?
Well, Mr. Jones comes into the barn.
Yes.
And he says, "What are you doing? Get back in your pens, you worthless animals."
And
the
then
animals.
Snowball says, "Charge!" And all the animals charge at him, kicking him, biting him, scratching him.
Clawing, scratching, biting,
Probably
pecking,
some chickens flying from the rafters, dropping droplings. Yeah, poop droplings all over him. And then
alpacas spitting.
And then as the farm hands are coming out the back door because they hear something going on out there, there's a group of horses and cows waiting by the back door, and they kick them and they jump them.
They even killed one, didn't they?
No, not at this. Not this time.
Not on
this.
Okay.
And so they chase them down. They're trying to get in the truck to drive away, and then Mr. Jones's wife, she crawls out the back window and is running off the farm, and then they hop in the truck and they're driving away without Mrs. Jones. And then she meets them by no. They don't take off in the truck. Yeah, they just run. They run for their lives down to the gate. And then
which is where the animals stop.
Yep.
Because the gate's still shut.
And gates are like force fields to them.
I guess they're strong as frick in this story.
They should have.
They're probably electric.
They should have. If they could get through the gate. If I was them, I would have just chased the farmers down and killed them.
It is weird in the course of the story how the animals obviously have every ability within themselves to escape the farm, but they stay there.
Because it is their dream to own the farm and to be self-sufficient.
There's this whole world.
Hey, so...
There's this whole world. See, the working class missing out on their potential.
Well, yeah, but they do send messages out to other farms to ignite rebellion. The geese and the doves fly to other farms. Yes. At first, life seems good. The animals work together, and they feel proud to run their own farm. They paint the 7 commandments on the barn wall, and the harvest is successful. Do we not have the 7 rules of animalism? What in the...
I have one rule.
What's that?
All animals are created equal. But it's true, these other ones aren't on this list here.
1 second. I'll have them in a second. So they go back. Or no. This is days later. Snowball, who's probably the best of these pigs and the most intellectually pure of them, the most, like, he has the best motivations. Him and the other pigs construct the 7 rules of animalism.
The 7 rules of animalism are as follows. Whatever goes upon 2 legs is an enemy. Number 2. Whatever goes upon 4 legs or has wings is a friend. Fish are friends, not food. 3. No animal shall wear clothes. 4. No animal shall sleep in a bed. 5. No animal shall drink alcohol. 6. No animal shall kill any other animal. And 7. All animals
are equal.
Yes.
Yes. So everything's seemingly going fine. But cracks begin to form. The pigs...
Cracks?
Yeah.
Cracks.
The pigs begin to keep because they have to milk the cows still. They have to do the harvest. They're doing all the farm work themselves. The pigs with their trotters, a.k.a. their hoofs, they learn to milk the cows. And they also pick the apples. And with their hooves, they also, like stated before, they paint the 7 rules of animalism. And
they think that they're Levites and get to...
Yes, so they keep the milk. All the animals are like, where are all the milk and apples going? And there's a big uproar. Everyone's asking the pigs, and then Snowball says, we pigs have them. And everyone's like, why? What? Why? And then Squealer, he's like the spokesman of the pigs. Any talking point, any like propaganda message that they need pushed, they send this little pig Squealer, who he'd move from side to side and kind of scamper about and twirl his tail about, and in a way that was very convincing to the other animals when he would do that. And he explained that since him and the other pigs, they're the brains of the operation, they need milk and apples to do their brainy duties for the rest of the animals. And so that's a special privilege that they get as the ruling class.
Almost sounds like propaganda or a paid actor or something.
As the leading intellectuals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, also, Jessie, a border collie. She has 9 puppies.
I forgot about Jessie.
Yeah, she's a farm dog. Well, she has 9 puppies. And when she does this, a pig named Napoleon comes along and takes the puppies and says he'll care for them and watch for them. You know, he's going to educate them and nothing is going to go wrong whatsoever. And she has nothing to worry about. And so she's like, okay. And he takes her puppies. And that's the last we hear of them for a couple scenes. And then the workhorse boxer.
In his dumb fashion.
He adopts the personal motto, I will always work harder.
Almost like he's given up. He's just going to do what he's always known, what he's always been taught.
What's familiar to him.
An animal that almost has the most potential because of his capabilities. Think of that, too.
Wait, what?
The animal that, because of his strength, just what he is, has so much potential and capabilities, is the very one that Orwell chose, even though they actually are intelligent. Horses.
He's the one that the pigs end up exploiting the most.
I know. The one, like what I'm saying.
The hardest, most valuable worker.
The most valuable producer with the most potential that he never uses because he's
Too
painted
loyal.
as dumb, which is an interesting choice, I'm saying, by Orwell, because horses are actually pretty smart. It's like he makes it clear this hierarchy of intelligence in the animals, and horses are at the bottom of it. But they're not in real life. They're really intelligent animals. So it's interesting that he chose to make them not intelligent in this story for the sake of painting a picture about the demographic they represent.
Oh, right. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
So, all seems fine, but then one day, danger strikes.
The humans.
Mr. Jones and his men return.
Two-leggers come back.
They come back
Aggressively.
trying to reclaim the farm.
Doesn't it just paint a picture in your head, though? Like all these farmers coming to take their farm back from these stupid rogue animals.
And then the animals, led by Snowball's clever military tactics, successfully defend it, what becomes known as the Battle of the Cowshed. So I believe what happens is...
His military tactics.
I believe what happens is there's some of them out in the open, and when the farmers come, they act like they run from them. But then they lead the humans right into a ambush. The animals jump out, they attack them.
And this time, Horsey kicks one of them in the head.
Thinks that he kills them, and in the process of this, when they're charging, Snowball gets grazed
by
with
a
bullet.
shotgun.
Yes, and he's not even distracted by the bullet wounds. He just charges and jumps up and bites one of the farmers.
Right in the leg.
Yes. And so they chase off the humans, and Boxer's looking at one of them that he knocked out by kicking. And he's like, I killed him. I didn't mean to kill him. And then Snowball's like, he's like, don't be ashamed, comrade. The only good human is a dead human. And in the process of them talking, the animal gets up, or the farmer gets up and runs away. And Snowball, in front of the rest of the animals, proclaims that Boxer, for his act of bravery and knocking out a human, he gets the reward Animal Hero First Class. And so first everyone's like, Boxer, Boxer, Snowball, Snow... And then Napoleon, he's getting jealous.
Napoleon, the other pig.
Yes.
So from the battle, they go back to their duties that they know so well on the farm. Day-to-day activities and festivities go back to the way they were, back to the normal cycle. Horses doing horse things, pulling stuff, and cows moving plows, and pigs milking, however the frick they do it with their hooves.
Snowball comes up with this idea for the future where they'll build a windmill, and this windmill will provide for most of their energy needs, and they'll be able to organize and structure their work enough to where they'll only have a 4-day work week.
This windmill based off of blueprints that the pigs found in Mr. Jones's house because they have broken in there and started investigating the house.
Ah, yes. They decided to make it a museum, but no animal is fit to live in a house. They believe that's like...
Plus one of their 7 rules of animaldom, or whatever it is.
No animal shall sleep in a bed with sheets, or sleep in a bed.
No animal shall sleep in a bed.
Yeah. That's the rule at first.
So they don't sleep in the bed. They abide by the rule for now.
The house is a museum.
So they have this idea for the windmill.
Yes. It's Snowball's idea. Snowball plans to build a windmill to produce electricity and ease the animals' workload. Napoleon opposes the idea. During a meeting, Snowball passionately
There's a mutiny.
convinces most animals. But Napoleon suddenly releases his trained dogs who chase Snowball all off the farm forever.
The dogs that nobody ever sees or can find.
Yeah. These are the puppies of Jesse's that he took. So now he has his own private guard. He calls it the Animal Guard.
So with such power and prestige and resources, obviously, he's a natural-born leader, arrogantly knows it, and declares himself as such.
But before he makes the dogs chase Snowball away, he stands over the blueprints and pees on them. Lets out a big old piss. And then he lets out a squeal, and then dogs jump out of nowhere. And they chase Snowball into the woods, and he just barely jumps through a hedge and gets away from the dogs. Almost get his little curly tail. But he gets away. As far as we know, he gets away.
And then he makes a TV show that gets canceled, turns it into a website and a podcast called alexjones.com.
Whoa, what? No, that's InfoWars.
That's, Infowars.com.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's your culture, man? Come on.
Yeah, sorry, dog.
Yeah.
That is
Kind
who
of conspiracy
Snowball
theorist
represents.
Alex Jones?
Yes.
Well, there is somebody he actually did, a historical figure he did represent.
Ooh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know this.
Let me find it in my notes. Let me find it in my notes. Let me find it in my notes. Snowball represents Leon Trotsky, the passionate idealist revolutionary who believes in progress, education, and technology. Symbolized by the windmill, Trotsky advocated for permanent revolution and modernization, which Stalin rejected. Napoleon, I should say, represents Stalin. Mm-hmm. And the dogs represent the KGB.
I see.
Yeah. Driven out by Napoleon's dogs, falsely accused of treason, mirroring Trotsky's exile and eventual assassination by Stalin's agents. So now that his political opponent, Snowball, is out of the way, Napoleon has full control over the farm.
And he forces all of the ones dumb enough to go along with him into life is back to normal, get back to work. Let's just build this windmill.
Yeah, so he says that the windmill was actually
His own idea.
yes, his idea all along, and
Even has Squealer go spread his propaganda for him so the animals believe it.
yep,
And it just solidifies.
Squealer, the
idea.
propaganda man. Who's Squealer? I can pull up who Squealer represents.
Squealer is CNN.
MSNBC. If this was a modern day parody, it would be the media, or really anybody who's like the people's represent. What would you call that in the president's cabinet? PR? No. Squealer represents the Soviet propaganda Pravda newspaper. The manipulative voices of the regime, Squealer twists facts, rewrites history, and spreads lies to make the pigs look good. He's the propaganda machine that keeps the masses loyal to Napoleon, no matter how bad things get. So,
Occupied.
he makes them go to work on this windmill. The animals work harder than ever to build the windmill. Life becomes difficult, and food rations shrink. Squealer constantly rewrites history to make Napoleon look like a hero and blame everything on Snowball, who he claims is sabotaging the farm from afar. So yeah, suddenly Snowball becomes this apparition, right? To where anything that
he's the Donald Trump of the times that tries to get ran off the scene and demonized.
Snowball is?
Sure.
Or Napoleon is the Donald Trump.
Well, I can see the personality similarities in both. See, I don't know, man. My politics are all confused now, because at first I liked Trump and I trusted him, but now it's like I don't trust him as far as I could throw him.
He's a hefty man. Saying? I don't even think I could throw him very far. Yeah, I definitely don't have that view of Trump anymore. I think Trump used a lot of legitimate concerns that Americans who weren't even conservative had.
I mean, like, the way that Snowball is blamed for a lot of bad stuff that he didn't do as somebody to blame for it. Kind of like going all the way back to the COVID thing. How Trump was kind of that scapegoat that took all the blame for the vaccines and the lockdowns and everything, even though it did start before he was even president. But he was still blamed for a lot of it.
He was president in 2016. COVID started in 2020. Like, really 2020. Trump was president when that started.
Or that was right before Biden came in.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like how the lockdowns and stuff happened in that administration, and anybody that didn't like anything they just said, they blamed everything on Trump. Including a lot of narratives of vaccine or of ivermectin and alternative medicines and staying healthy.
There definitely was a narrative of vaccine good, anything else bad that was being pushed, and I still don't entirely know what was going on when that happened. You know, like, I do think it was odd. Like, I don't know what was going on, but there was certainly something going on, and I do think that there's like something on a conspiratorial level. You know, rather it just be a big psyop, a big mass experiment. I do think COVID was a legitimate thing, but just like I believe that our government in early 2000s used Islamic terrorism to give us military boots in the Middle East. I think they overemphasized the threat that Islamic terrorism was for that, and maybe they did the same thing with COVID. Who knows?
Yeah, because I remember the beginning of it, they would show videos of people like walking down the street and falling over dead, like trying to scaremonger you into staying home and not going out and avoiding contact.
The idea of Trump being, though, this whistleblower, this righteous whistleblower that gets blamed for everything when it's not his fault, that's exactly what he wants people to think about him, though. So I'm weary of that.
So Snowball, he's not a whistleblower yet, but he will have some influence here pretty soon.
Snowball?
Yeah, the guy ran off the farm.
A whistleblower?
Yeah, we were talking about who Snowball represents.
Well, now he represents not a whistleblower, but more so like this apparition that, like,
the unseen enemy.
Yes, the unseen enemy
that everybody knows and is familiar with, but nobody can see or touch.
Yes.
So they're running low on food. They're working through their summer, hard little loyal worker bee animals, and a storm strikes, ruins their project on the windmill.
No, the farmers come and they bomb it.
No, it falls over in a storm first.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yes, I think you're right. Yes, yeah.
And then
I have that in the notes.
They blame it on Snowball. Or Napoleon tries to blame it on Snowball, that unseen, mysterious enemy that always has a finger in everything somehow.
There's some things where it's like, I began to wonder, like, there are things that it's not even things that would make Napoleon look bad if he didn't blame it on Snowball. You know, just like that's the act of God, basically. To where I don't know if Snowball, it almost seems like Snowball becomes this element that this element that they insert to instill fear. This enemy, he could strike at any moment, and even when it's not his fault, it's his fault, so that we fear him. You know what I mean?
So you have to look to your courageous leader to get you through it, because you never know when this threat will strike.
Yes. You are at risk. Give me all the power so that I can keep you safe.
And now comes the darkest time, I think, that happens in the farm.
What's that?
Napoleon starts suspecting that Snowball has some influence on the farm. And so he gets his little squealer to go do some dirty work and sniff up who's spreading these stinky rumors against him and on Snowball's behalf, spreading this propaganda that the leadership is corrupt. So he gathers a meeting of the farm assembly in the middle of the buildings, in the farm's square, you could say. And for some reason, these animals all So he takes one as an example.
Yeah.
Says, have you been conspiring with this great enemy, Snowball? Oh, yes.
Yes.
He told me to rummage through the food sacks, and I did.
And then he was like, he told me to pee in a water trough, and I did.
Yep. Just causing havoc on the farm.
They're like, there was this old ram that had asthma that we chased around a bonfire until he died. And that was also influenced by Snowball. Like, there's all these confessions where it clearly didn't happen. Do they think that it happened, or...
Well, here's the weird thing,
Are they being forced to do it to, like, put on a scene?
The first animal confessed and was killed. Napoleon gave the order, kill him.
Yes.
And they ripped into his flesh and
dog rips out his
ate him
throat.
apart. Now, the other animals just saw this happen. And yet they confess to these outrageous claims, knowing dang well what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering that, actually, when I was going through the book. Why?
Yeah. Were they, like, being forced to say those things?
Is this a Charlie Kirk?
Did they believe? What do you mean by that?
Maybe he was influenced to change his stance on Israel. Maybe he decided to change the narrative that he talked about for so long and got taken out because of it.
I have heard people say that. Personally, if we're going to go into Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories, though, I think that it was more of a U.S. inside job. If I'm totally fine going with the narrative that it was somebody who was like a politically.
I think it was some innocent homie that's good with a gun offered enough money by somebody on the extreme anti-Charlie Kirk side.
It could be that, or I think it could very well be that it was like a political fanatic that,
That's also possible.
But
and there's also that whole like thing in his shirt conspiracy deal where if you like slow the video down frame by frame it, you'll see a shirt like pop way it's weird. I actually got the video and I was going through it frame by frame too myself, and yeah, dude, it's weird. It's weird. There's definitely something going on with like I would never imagine a ricochet off. Apparently he was wearing a vest too, so people that see this video say like, oh, that was the ricochet off the vest or something. But I'm telling you, as one who saw this video firsthand, there's something fishy about it. Doesn't make too much sense. But anyway, these voices spoke up on the farm. Knowing that they're going to die, confessing to these claims anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think that they were outrageous claims? Because the book, he doesn't say that these animals actually did it, but they do confess in a setting where it doesn't seem like there'd be a reason to lie.
I think they were being forced to do it as just like they're performing a scene.
Sacrificial lambs.
Publicity just for everybody to see, to make an example.
Because the way that the book...
This is what happens
when... The order of
when...
events in the book is the first animal gets killed, the second one is questioned, and then he questions many others, and then orders all of them to be killed.
By the time it's over with, there's dead animals laying all at Napoleon's feet, in the air weighing heavy with blood. A scent that the animals had not smelled since the days of Mr.
Farmer
Jones. Yes.
Now I'm going to Isaiah's notes to know what's next, because it's a little hazy right here for me. It says, the corruption deepens.
Yes.
Oh, yes, oh, yes. This is the point where the Oinkers move into the farmhouse. Because, well, they're the only ones that are intelligent enough to read the books and use the pencils and write. They're the only ones that know how to operate half the things in this house.
Mm-hmm. And
so
then
they're the obvious choice for who should live there.
One of the cows notices that they're sleeping in beds. And she says, hey, wasn't that one of the 7 rules of animalism, no sleeping in beds? Then they go and look. And it now says no sleeping in beds with sheets. And then the pigs are also really taking a liking to alcohol. And they thought,
oh yeah, what kind of alcohol was it? I remember it said it. Whiskey.
And it says they look at the rule, and it's been changed to
animals shall not drink alcohol.
Yeah, to excess.
Excess.
Yes. Because the first time Napoleon gets drunk, he wakes up the next morning and thinks he's dying, and he has a squealer tell all the animals on the farm, our Lord and Savior is dying. And then by the end of that day, he's like, oh, wow, that's just a hangover, I guess. Didn't know what a hangover was, and he's like, everything changes. And because in the time that he thought he was dying, he was like, any animal who's been found drinking alcohol shall be put to death. But then when he gets better, he changes the rule to
excess.
Yes. Meanwhile, Boxer continues to work himself to exhaustion. Believing in Napoleon's leadership, his new motto becomes,
Napoleon is always right.
Why would anybody have that opinion about anybody in power ever? Like, seriously.
The poor working class horse with unfulfilled potential, man, I'm telling you. His old motto was, I will just work harder.
That's like saying, hey, abuse me. Please abuse me. Like having that motto.
Man, that's about what school prepares you for. Well, Boxer keeps working and keeps working and keeps working until he works his poor little heart to tired.
He ends up working so hard on the windmill that he even has a rooster wake him up an hour earlier than any of the other animals. And he anytime anything goes wrong and the animals are like, man, things are really getting worse. Napoleon seems kind of corrupt. He's like, no, guys, it must be a fault in ourselves. So I'm going to just say we must work harder. And he keeps working harder.
But the argument to be made here is how he lived his life, is how he worked himself to the end of his life. And it doesn't make it clear if he has regrets. It seems like he just died an old peaceful horse. But there is a complication at the end of his life.
When Boxer collapses from overwork, Napoleon promises to send him to a veterinarian. But the cart that takes him away belongs to the glue factory.
It doesn't say nothing about the vet on the side.
Yeah, it's driving away, and Jessie the dog sees that it says glue factory.
Wait a minute, I can kind of read that.
She goes back and tells the other animals, and they're in an uproar, and they're angry. and they're devastated. But Squealer tells everyone, listen. It wasn't the glue factory. It was an old van that
the vet bought
from the glue factory.
Yeah.
Yes.
It just hasn't been painted yet.
But little do the animals know, the pigs actually sold him for money to buy whiskey.
Wow.
Wow,
dude. The poor old working
horse that just said Napoleon's always right, must work harder.
And this is such
worked himself to exhaustion. They sell for their worldly pleasures.
Oh, dude, and the way this book tells it, this horse is getting hauled off in the cart, and all these animals come like, running after him.
Boxer, break out!
That cart.
And he starts kicking, but if he was in his former glory,
he raises his head and looks and sees all of them running towards him, all his friends. They're like, kick open the door. And he musters all his strength and gives out with a heave and kicks and hooves at the door, and he can't open it.
If he was in his former glory, he would have been able to break it down easily.
The whole cart to splinters.
Yes.
But now he can't escape, and the cart disappears over the dusty trail in the horizon, with the animals watching with tears in their eyes as their old friend gets hauled off to its death.
Yep. I'm interested. I have a whole.
Let's take a minute to remember Boxer.
I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now
we don't hear from the farmers again.
I see. What?
That was a nice moment of peace for Boxer.
I agree. I concur.
So we don't hear from the farmers again. They've pretty much given up hope. Farmer Jones moved off to a different farm. He's like, dude, screw this one. These animals are nuts.
Or he died of alcoholism, one or the other.
True.
Died in the gutter.
And who knows where Mrs. Jones is. So, activities resume on the farm while the pigs stay in the house and keep more of the milk and more of the resources. Yep. And like pigs do, they get a little bit fat, a little bit spoiled, a little bit rich, ruling with fear.
And one day,
they come out of the house
walking on two legs.
Like, how in the frig?
Imagine seeing that. Imagine seeing a group of pigs walking around on two legs. One of them's carrying a whip.
And not only on two legs,
a belt.
They're wearing human clothing.
Not yet. Oh. Just pants. That would be pretty creepy. If I don't say so myself. Like, that would freak me out.
That's impressive they could get in them.
It was hard for him to stand up, the book says.
Just playing cards and drinking alcohol around the table.
Yeah. Well, no, we're not to that yet. The pigs also begin to do dealings with other farmers.
Human-owned farms.
Yes. This was in communist Russia when Stalin started working with Adolf Hitler. Mm-hmm. And so Napoleon starts doing bartering with I think it's Mr. Pilkington. He starts doing bartering and trading with Mr. Pilkington, another farmer, and he's selling eggs to him, mostly to buy whiskey. Much of this goes. He even tells there's this point earlier on before the hens. So when all the killing started, it started with the hens. He was saying that the hens needed to offer some of their eggs to help pay for things on the farm.
The children of the women in Russia going to the military.
The hens, they refused, and then he was like, anyone who's seen dealing with a hen shall be put to death. And so, there's this. Now, The pigs are living in houses, they're gambling, they're drinking alcohol, they're walking on two legs, they're sleeping in beds with sheets, they're doing dealings with farmers. And one night, the pigs have a big get-together with all the other farmers. And
the animals are noticing that this is kind of a violation of the rules.
Yeah.
These other rules on the board. Like, all animals are created equal. But they're not allowed into the house with them.
And then they go and look.
They can't be in the meeting.
They go and look on the wall to where it once said all animals are created equal. And now says all animals are created equal, but some animals are more equal than others. So,
what a fantastic rule change.
For starters, they don't understand the word equal, but, you know. So, yes, the animals go back, and they look inside, and there's this meeting between the pigs and the farmers. And Mr. Farmer Pilkington, he's wealthiest of all the farmers here, he's like, Napoleon, when I heard of a pig trying to, all of our past dealings aside, when the farmers fought the animals, it's in the past. We thought that, we heard that there's some pigs leading a rebellion, and but you have this operation really you down. You're in charge here, and now I see, just as you animals, you have your lower animals, and we have our lower classes, and Napoleon's like,
while they smoke cigars and twist on their mustaches.
And Napoleon's like, Pilkington, I happen to notice you called this farm Animal Farm. No, that's just a name that some of the animals with idealistic dreams gave this farm. We have always called it Manor Farm.
Just as it was when the humans owned it too.
Yes, and as far as what you consider a rebellion, no, this is just some pigs wanting to have their own independent, self-sufficient farm, and just like you said, as you have your lower classes, we have our lesser animals.
The leadership becomes corrupt.
And they were all...
and follows the path of the very ones they fought so hard to overthrow.
They were all in their drinking, in their revelry and whatnot, and the animals were looking through the window. And they were both, the humans and the pigs, they were standing up on two legs, both drinking. And the animals noticed.
It was impossible to tell
which
an animal
was which
from a human.
Yes. And that's where the story ends.
And thus wraps up Animal Farm by George Orwell.
Yes. Now, I will go over what everything meant. In a quick, timely manner.
We went over some things.
Yes.
Such as Stalin and Trotsky and Karl Marx.
The pigs, the ruling class, Communist Party leadership. Old Major represents Karl Marx and Vladimir Lenin combined. Symbolism, the intellectual, ideological founder of the revolution. His speech about animals' oppression mirrors Marx's call for working class to overthrow the
bourgeoisie.
I'm glad you said that. And Lenin's revolutionary leadership that inspired the Bolsheviks. Fate. Dies before the revolution begins, like Marx, who died before his ideas were realized, and Lenin, who died early in the Soviet regime. Napoleon represents Joseph Stalin, the ruthless dictator who hijacks the revolution. Napoleon uses propaganda, terror, and lies to seize control, and paralleling Stalin's consolidation of power through purges, the secret police, and the cult of personality. Key parallels. He drives out Snowball like Stalin, exiling Trotsky. He uses dogs as secret police like the KJV, or KGB, I should say. Rewrites history and rewrites rewrites the commandments.
Rewrites.
Enforces loyalty through fear and propaganda. Snowball.
Trotsky.
Represents Leon Trotsky, the passionate, idealistic revolutionary who believes in progress in education and technology, symbolized by the windmill. Trotsky advocated for permanent revolution and modernization, which Stalin rejected. Driven out by Napoleon's dogs and falsely accused of treason, mirroring Trotsky's exile and eventual assassination by Stalin's agents. And after I do Squiller, why don't you do the next ones? Squiller represents Soviet propaganda, bravado newspaper. The manipulative voice of the regime, Squiller twists facts and rewrites history. My words today. And spreads lies to make the pigs look good. He's the propaganda machine that keeps the masses loyal to Napoleon, no matter how bad things get.
Minimus, the other pig, represents the states.
Didn't hear as much about him.
The state's official artists and poets. The symbolism is he's a talented pig who writes patriotic songs glorifying Napoleon, replacing Beasts of England, a stand-in for state-controlled arts that praises dictators and erases revolutionary ideals. The working class old boxer represents the proletariat. The symbolism is the loyal, hard-working, and naive worker who believes in the revolution and never questions authority. His mottos, I will work harder and Napoleon is always right, reflect the exploited faith of workers under Stalin. Fate, sold to the glue factory when he's no longer useful, symbolizing how Stalin betrayed and destroyed the very class he claimed to serve. Clover, the working class women, the motherly proletariat. Symbolism, she's kind-hearted, loyal, and caring, but not educated enough to challenge the pig's lies.
This is a cow that
She's our local conspiracy theorist.
Usually the one reading things.
The quiet one in the back of the class. Yes. She occasionally suspects something's wrong, but can't read or reason enough to resist.
Oh, yeah, because throughout all this, when the animals are, like, they can't remember, like, they have such bad memory, and they can barely read, so they can't remember what the rules originally were when they were changed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And most of them had to have them read to them.
Yeah, Clover would usually be reading for them.
The intellectuals and minor voices, like Benjamin, represents the cynical intellectuals, the skeptics. The symbolism, the donkey who could read as well as any pig but never exercised his faculty. He sees through the corruption but believes resistance is futile. He's the intelligentsia who recognizes oppression but stays silent until it's too late. Muriel represents the educated working class, the lower level intelligentsia. Symbolism. A goat who can read and sometimes help the others understand the commandments. She represents those with enough education to question propaganda, but without the power to act.
Isn't it interesting that the ones that can read in this circumstances are female animals?
And they don't do any action to, get out of the situation that they know they're in.
Well, a lot of women, and a lot of those times, they really couldn't. So maybe that represents that.
And we got the doggies. The military secret police represent Stalin's secret police, the KGB. Symbolism. Raised by Napoleon from puppies, they serve as his enforcers, using violence to maintain control and eliminate enemies. They are the instruments of terror and intimidation under totalitarian rule. Then the sheep, the common masses, the propagandized populace. Represents the easily manipulated masses. Symbolism, they repeat slogans like 4 legs good, 2 legs bad, without understanding them, drowning out debate.
And Napoleon, before he outed Snowball, he would have sheep come in and randomly chant that during his speeches, just to distract or to...
This is your rioters.
Yeah.
They represent citizens who parrot propaganda and force conformity through blind loyalty. Haha, the woke. The hens represent the peasant farmers, the kulaks. Symbolism. The rebellion over giving up eggs mirrors the Soviet peasants' resistance to forced collectivization. Many were starved and executed under Stalin, just as the hens are starved after rebelling. And the other animals, like Molly, represent the bourgeoisie, the upper middle class. There's a little less of them. Symbolism, the vain horse who loves ribbons and sugar. Yeah, the rich one, she flees the farm after the revolution to live comfortably with humans, representing those who fled Russia after the Bolshevik takeover, unwilling to give up luxury. And Moses, the raven, represents religion and the Russian Orthodox Church. The symbolism, they preach about Sugar Candy Mountain, a paradise after death. This is where the freaking unicorns, that YouTube video, Charlie and the Unicorn, they come from this.
Sugar Candy Mountain.
Sugar Candy Mountain.
Candy Mountain, Charlie.
At first, the pigs ban him like the early Soviet suppression of religion, but later allow him back because the stories keep the animals passive, showing how religion can be used to pacify the oppressed.
Interesting.
Wow. Nate Weisen's going to write a song about that.
I want to do the humans. Mr. Jones represents Tsar Nicholas II. The corrupt, negligent ruler overthrown by the revolution. His downfall mirrors the fall of Russia, the Russian monarchy in 1917. So this must have been written later than that for this to be an allegory.
Indeed.
I want to say it's around the 1930s. Well, no. If it involves Adolf Hitler, it has to be even later than that, at least.
Probably late 40s.
Perhaps. I do not think this is post-World War II.
World War II ended in 48, didn't it?
I believe so. 45 or... 48 is when Israel became a recognized state, so I think it was prior to that.
Mr. Frederick.
Mr. Frederick represents Adolf Hitler, Nazi Germany. The neighboring farmer who betrays Animal Farm after making a trade deal, fake banknotes. Oh, yeah, there's this one point where he buys some, I believe it's hay from Napoleon.
One could call this their stock.
Gives them these banknotes, and Napoleon's so proud of it that he has it set in front of him on a china plate from inside the house, and has all the animals march past him. And then he finds out that, well, those banknotes were fake, and so he sends out the death sentence on Mr. Frederick. Just as Hitler broke his aggression pact with Stalin by invading the USSR in 1941. Mr. Pilkington represents the Western Allies, Britain, U.S., etc. Symbolism, another neighboring farmer, he's civil but untrustworthy, symbolizing the uneasy alliance between the Soviet Union and Western powers during and after World War II. Mr. Whymper represents Western intermediaries, capitalist middlemen, the human solicitor Napoleon hires to handle trade with the outside world. He represents businessmen who dealt with Stalin's regime despite its corruption. Businessmen who, there's a lot of in today's world do deals on both ends. Can be funding a war on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are we at on time?
An hour and 13.
Oh, that ain't bad.
I think that's a good place to wrap it up, put a bow on it.
You didn't want to discuss it a little more?
Like, what'd you have in mind? I had this dilemma while I was reading this book. About a third of the way through it, I started to ask myself, so who are the bad guys? It's one of these deals where it's kind of everybody. Everybody had a part to play in this pitiable situation. The insiders spreading the fear and the propaganda, the ones leading based on their own interest and not the interest of the masses. Then the masses that blindly followed. And then, even worse, the masses that knew of the corruption and didn't say anything about it.
Back when we did our episode of masculinity and our pondering segment when we talked about Charlie Kirk getting assassinated. Mm-hmm. I was a bit hesitant to jump on the bandwagon that, so like it's confirmed now. At the time I said that it's believed that it was conservative. Now it's believed that he was more left-leaning fellow that shot Charlie Kirk. I was hesitant, though. You brought up about it being like a leftist agenda that wanted to wipe him out. And I was hesitant of that because that really seems to be the narrative that Trump and his cabinet are trying to push about the situation. And whenever, especially since like conservatives, they got the House, they got the Senate in this past election. So whenever a political entity keeps blowing a whistle of like a enemy that's there, that even though you have the dominant amount of power, makes you wonder if they're doing that so that you'll give them more power under the mirage of crisis, and so they can so they
can be the heroes.
Well, like in
story.
this story, Napoleon and the pigs, they end up just as corrupt as the humans. And there's other dystopian stories like Hunger Games. The people...
That's exactly the same.
Yeah, the people that do the rebellion against President Snow, they're going to do the exact same thing. And so sometimes, like you mentioned about the woke. I think that, there's like a woke agenda and that there's like a MAGA agenda. Mm-hmm. And I think he very well could use that fear of the enemy within as a way to just get more power. So that's why I'm weary of... Whenever the people in power want you to fear a particular people group, I'm hesitant to listen to what they have to say.
And that's the dilemma, I suppose, of the book. Is you can't trust anybody.
Yeah.
Those that you trusted to lead you betray you by going down the same path as those that went before in the same leadership. And nobody does anything. And if they do, it's just going to be the next revolution that leads into the same thing that just happened all over again.
That he'll get perhaps hijacked by another
generation
entity
of sufficiently motivated and extremist, rebellious, youthful animals rise up and do it all over again.
And then there's a powerful entity that hijacks that just as another vehicle to become just as powerful as the people
the government
revolted against.
Indeed.
Indubitably. Yes, thank you. So, that being said, that's all I had to say about that.
Well, you want to get to the last segment?
Yes, our final segment. Listen up.
Listen up!
Listen up.
Yes, listen up.
Where we give you our musical
suggestions,
ponderings of the week.
So I have one that is like the perfect one for this episode. It is the entire Animals album by Pink Floyd, which was made out of inspiration of this book. In case you didn't know. In case you didn't know.
Listen to it then.
Yeah. Animals by Pink Floyd. It's like a 5-album song. I think there's Pigs on the Wing 1.
A 5-album song.
5-song album. There's Pigs on the Wing. Pigs, 3 different kinds. Dogs, sheep, and pigs on the Wing 2. So not a long album at all.
Interesting.
Nope.
I've been listening to some Skillet again. Digging into those Christian rock roots.
There you go.
That expanded me outside of the country and oldies I had been raised on. Skillet was one of those first bands that was not typical for my neck of the woods.
Really?
Yes. The OG that got me out of country.
Oh, yeah, that's what you were raised. See, I was raised on Christian rock. My dad was in a few Christian rock bands.
Contemporary Christian music was too rocky for my grandparents. Like, I remember I was playing bass at my house once when I was littler, and I was playing some worship song that I was practicing for church, and my dad came in yelling at me because the bass was too loud because it was bass guitar. So He's like, I'm trying to watch TV out here if you're done playing that devil music.
That's satanic rock, as your mom would say.
Satanic, yeah.
You know, I was listening to that kind lady.
It's a worship song. Like, do you hear these lyrics? You know, I'm practicing for playing it. Oh, wait, where is it? Oh, church? Yeah.
I've met a lot of older folks that'll be talking about various churches, and they'll be like, you know, one thing that I don't like about them is the worship team has a drummer.
I remember hearing that a lot.
Mm-hmm. To where I was raised on, like, pretty contemporary worship music back in my religious days, and I was like, that's like, you know, they'd be singing songs by Mercy Me or
Mercy Me, Chris Tomlin, Michael W. Smith, Casting Crowns, Hillsong United, Hillsong Young and Free.
But there's, I'd meet folks that I guess was too poppy,
Vertical Church,
too rocky, maybe.
Meredith Andrews. Dude, I listened to all of them for a long time. That's like all I listened to. I was still told it was devil music by my dad, who hated anything except like ABBA.
You want some devil music?
And the Eagles. He liked ABBA and the Eagles and a little bit of Chicago.
ABBA.
And yet my worship music is freaking satanic.
Apparently he never read any of those online articles about what the song Hotel California is about.
Hotel California.
Growing up, my dad would tell me that song's about the First Church of Satan. I'm pretty sure it's about rehab.
I'm listening to Praise Jesus, Hallelujah, and my dad can listen to Dancing Queen. Like,
you can check out, but you can never leave. Rehab.
Yeah.
Hollywood
A
rehab.
good song can be interpreted many ways.
Yeah, that's really, honestly. A good one.
Dude, here's one. Check out...
It's like an abstract painting.
Check out Darkness by Eminem for a song that's like that. Because in that one, it tells two different stories with all three verses. But the story can be completely different based on what like perspective you're interpreting the lyrics from. Because on one side, he's about to go out on stage and perform a show. But if you look at the lyrics a different way, he's a shooter at one of these old concert shootings in a hotel window. And the way that he words it, it can tell either of those two stories perfectly with the words of the song. Just depends what story you want to listen to.
Who sings that?
Eminem. It's called Darkness.
What album is that off from?
Music to Be Murdered By.
One of the newer ones. Oh, wait, no, I already
Handlebars.
did that one.
Is that one with Skylar Grey?
No. Flowbots, but I already did that one.
Flowbots.
I'd say check out Animals by Pink Floyd. Keep it in the animal theme. Black Bear by Black Bear. That's a good song.
That's all I got, man.
That's all I got as well.
Well, I guess with that, then, we got to keep traversing the strange world with some things in mind.
Until next time, let's keep traversing this strange world. Let's be inquisitive. Let's be curious. And don't forget along the way to have a little bit of
swag.
Yeah, a little bit of swag nuzzled in there. And let's not forget to be neighborly to folks. Because at the end of the day, we're all just strangers in a strange freaking land. Yeah.
Strange freaking land.
Strange freaking land. With strange stories. Don't be a tyrant. Just freaking love each other. Till next time. Peace. Come on now.
Toodles. That's me.
Yeah.
If you would like to contact us, email us at peaceandtoodles@gmail.com. Until next time, salutations, my fellow strangers.
What will they think of next?